Julia Roberts sat on the edge of the guest chair on The Late Show, her posture easy but her eyes giving away that this conversation was nowhere near the polite small talk the audience had come expecting. Stephen Colbert leaned forward behind his desk, cue cards stacked neatly but useless, because everybody in the studio could feel that the cards weren't going to save him this time. The crowd gave a polite laugh as Stephen tried to open lightly. He said, "Julia Roberts, America's sweetheart, or should I say, America's unexpected firebrand? You've been pretty outspoken lately." Julia gave that famous wide grin, but it didn't touch her eyes. She said, "I've always spoken up, Stephen. Maybe people just weren't listening." A hush rippled through the rows of fans who'd lined up since morning, hoping for charm and giggles, not a cold tension slicing through the stage lights. Stephen kept the grin plastered on. He said, "So let's get into it. You've been calling out Hollywood, politics, even the media, which, I guess, technically includes me." Julia tilted her head, voice calm, soft enough that it forced every mic to lean in. "You're right. It does include you." The grin slipped, just for a second. He recovered with a chuckle. Okay. So what's your problem with, well, us?" Julia leaned forward, elbows on her knees. "My problem is with people pretending to be brave when they're paid not to be." The audience didn't laugh. A woman near the front row whispered, "Oh, wow." Just loud enough to prick the hush even sharper. Stephen raised his eyebrows, playing it off. "Julia, I'm paid to ask the questions. And you're paid to." She cut him off, voice steady. "To tell the truth. Or at least try. You're paid to spin it so no one has to feel uncomfortable." He tried for a joke, desperate now. "So you're saying I'm the problem?" Julia's jaw tightened, but her smile stayed frozen, the kind of smile that lands harder than a shout. "I'm saying you don't get to act like the good guy when you make your living keeping the truth soft enough for people to swallow without choking." The crowd murmured, not clapping, not laughing, just a soft wave of, "Did she just say that?" Stephen sat back, the grin gone for good. "Julia, this is a comedy show. It's not a congressional hearing." Julia leaned in so far her hair brushed the microphone. "Maybe that's the problem, Stephen. Everything's a joke when people are hurting." He glanced at the producers off stage, eyes flicking like he was looking for a way out. But no one moved. Julia folded her hands, calm as ever. "You bring people like me on so you can pretend to care. So you can say you asked the hard questions. But you don't want answers. You want sound bites." A single gasp from the back row cracked the hush wide open. Stephen's pen tapped the desk, too loud, too quick. "Are you accusing me of being fake, Julia?" She didn't flinch. "I'm saying you're paid to make real things feel small." His voice rose, the joke gone, the show gone. "If you don't like it, you can leave." Julia's smile vanished. Her eyes locked on his. "Maybe I will." The audience didn't know whether to clap or gasp, so they just sat there, half frozen, eyes darting from Julia's calm stare to Stephen's forced grin that had all but slipped off his face. Stephen cleared his throat, his pen now lying flat on the desk like he'd given up pretending he had any control left. He said, voice a little sharper now, "Julia, you've made your point. But you came on my show. If you think you're going to lecture me in my house." Julia's eyes narrowed, her tone staying flat, each word clearer than the last. "It's not your house, Stephen. It belongs to the people who tune in hoping they'll hear something real." A man in the second row let out a low mmm that made the tension crackle like static under the hot studio lights. Stephen leaned back, trying to put the distance back in his voice, but it came out brittle. "So what? You think you're the hero here? Telling everyone you're the truth teller while the rest of us are sellouts?" Julia didn't blink. She tucked a stray piece of hair behind her ear, calm as a stone. "I think I'm tired of people pretending they're brave while they're collecting a check for staying silent." Stephen's jaw tensed. He tried for a joke, but it fell flat. "Oh, come on, Julia. You're Hollywood. You have more money than God. Don't stand there and act like you're some moral compass." Julia's voice dropped even lower, the hush pressing the audience deeper into their seats. "You know the difference between you and me? I never made a living off pretending I didn't see what was happening." Stephen barked a laugh, but no one joined him. "You're really going to sit there and call me a coward?" Julia's smile flickered, Not warm, not gentle. If you can't stand behind what you say, what else would you call it? The hush cracked again. A soft shuffle of someone's foot on the stage floor, the mic picking up the breath of the person closest to the edge. Stephen's eyes darted to the floor manager like he was begging for the next cue card to bail him out. None came. Julia leaned forward, elbows on her knees again, eyes locked dead on him. I didn't come here to be your friendly guest. I came here because people need to see what happens when the joke isn't funny anymore. Stephen's voice rose, brittle now, the last joke nowhere in sight. You're done here, Julia. You want real? I'll give you real leave. Julia stood up, slow, steady, her chair scraping the stage floor in a hush that rang louder than applause. Gladly. A ripple of whispers from the audience broke the last of the polite veneer. A woman in the back row said, "She really just stood up." Stephen opened his mouth, but the words stuck, the grin gone, the cue cards useless. Julia didn't look back. Try telling the truth sometime, Stephen. You might actually like it. Julia Roberts didn't rush. She stood there for half a heartbeat, the audience watching her like they'd forgotten they were supposed to laugh at this show. Stephen Colbert sat behind his desk, his hands flat on the blue cards that had stopped meaning anything 10 minutes ago. He tried to force a grin, but it looked like a mask slipping off. He said, voice cracking just enough for the front row to catch. Well, there goes America's sweetheart, right? Walking out when things get real. Julia turned halfway toward him. Not all the way, just enough to make the words hit him straight in the chest. No, Stephen. I'm walking out because you wouldn't know real if it stared you in the face. A soft "oh" rolled through the audience. Not laughter, not gasping. Just that sound people make when they know the line cut too close for a punchline. Stephen barked out a brittle laugh, eyes darting at the cameras, his voice forced steady. Okay, so you're a truth-teller now. Go ahead, preach your message. Who's listening? Julia's eyes didn't flinch. Everyone who's tired of being told to shut up and clap when nothing changes. She stepped toward the edge of the stage. The floor manager held the curtain, but nobody moved. The hush felt like a heavy blanket pressing down on every row. Stephen tried again, last chance to drag the grin back. You know what, Julia? Don't come back. How about that? She didn't stop walking. She didn't even turn her head. Don't worry, Stephen. I won't. One slow clap, just one, cracked the hush from the back. Then another, and another, until the ripple of it bounced off the cold studio lights. Not a cheer, not a standing ovation, just a slow, stunned hush clapping for the one person who didn't play along. Stephen sat frozen, hands still on the cards, eyes pinned to the exit sign glowing behind her. The camera caught the last frame. Julia stepping behind the curtain, head high, the hush following her all the way off the stage. The audience stayed quiet. Nobody forced the laugh. Nobody dropped the applause sign. The truth didn't need it. Some people make a living keeping things comfortable. Some people walk out the moment comfort stops the truth. And sometimes the biggest applause is the silence that comes when you realize the curtain isn't for the show. It's for the people who don't belong on that stage anymore.